Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
From the Fifth Quarter Studio in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to the Coaching Youth Hoops Podcast.
They're playing
Basketball.
Here's our hosts, Steve Collins, and Bill Flitter.
All right, welcome. Coaching Youth Hoops. Coach. Any of you are listening, I want to go on record that I am wearing my GC shirt and Coach is not wearing his. And we love GameChanger. And usually it's the other way around. Usually Coach is wearing his and I forgot mine. So that's why I'm teasing him right now because
I had my 3-and-3 today. So I dressed. So after we're done shooting the podcast, I have to go to 3-and-3. So I'm wearing my Level Up, which is my youth basketball team's organization.
Yeah.
By the way, did you look? So for all the coaches here, that was my camp.
Like that Level Up.
I designed that. The girls picked it. I did a bunch of designs,
pick the colors?
And they picked out. Yeah, those are our team colors.
Team colors are purple,
and like a.
Well, I was so I'm gonna 2 Wisconsinites are gonna talk for 30 seconds here. So I was a Pergolder growing up, which is purple and gold. Madison East are the Pergolders.
What's a Pergolder?
A Pergolder is purple and gold put together.
That's all it is?
It's a mythical creature that kind of looks like a badger a little bit as far as the mascot goes.
Yeah.
Peppy the Pergolder is the actual nickname. Like the Hodags or the cheesemakers. We have some unique, Monroe cheesemakers and the Rhinelander Hodags. Anyway, we're the Madison East Pergolders. So anyway, we were purple and gold, which was great in the 80s because of the Lakers. So it was a cool colors in the 80s. Never had problems wearing purple and gold. But anyway. All right, let's talk about let's give a big shout out and thank our sponsors here. So first of all, GC. Here, I'll hold up my shirt. GC.
There you go. Yeah.
GameChanger. Last week
coaches.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, go to gc.com/coaching youth hoop. Check it out. Huge time saver. We're talking to them coming up on a future episode about some new products that they're coming out with as well. I'm pretty excited about. They have video annotation now, and it's free to coaches to use. What does that mean? That means you can help your players learn quicker by seeing what they're doing. Honestly, I think it's great.
We used it for our fall league. I had a parent videotape and they sent it to me. It was an easy way to, go, wow, we're not playing any defense this fall. Wow, coach is going to lose all his hair. So it was great from that standpoint. All right, so GameChanger, go over and check them out. And also, what else can we talk about, Coach?
Well, let's talk about what we're going to talk about today, which is keeping players engaged during practice. This came up as part of just some feedback from coaches, what some struggles that they're having. And it's really it comes down to players just goofing around during practice, not paying attention, losing focus, right? So we're going to talk about how do you change that? How do you change that behavior?
Well, you could go over to Coaching Youth Hoops and look at our practice plans. You could do that. That would help.
Well, great segue, because this has been an issue for some time, and the practice plans at coachingyouthhoops.com are geared to help solve this problem. They're fast moving, they're timed, they have constraints built into them, so you can change it as your player. You can change a particular drill as your players advance versus always teaching a new drill. You just change the constraints in a set of drills that you've taught, right? Because that's one of the key problems, right? When coaches have to explain things and it takes longer and the players are losing focus and they just want to play and they don't want to learn how to do a new drill and you're just vomiting, right?
And I'll give you a story from someone that's coached for 37 years. So I've run my youth clinics the last couple of weeks. First week I had 9 kids. Great, easy, blah blah blah. Had a practice plan, blah blah blah. And then the next week was the parent meeting, and I ended up with 42 kids and me by myself. Now, luckily, I had enough. I had things ready. But if you don't, like, 42 kids with one coach and 6 baskets can be a little chaotic.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So, luckily I had plans because I didn't know how many kids were going to show up. So I had plans kind of working through that window. But the key is you just got to keep them moving. That's part of the thing is you got to, like, it's hard to not have 42 kids and having half of them standing around not being attentive. And it doesn't matter if you've got 15, if you've got only 7 of them engaged and the other 8 are not engaged, that's going to be some of the problems, I think. Don't you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's the number one thing. You just have to keep everybody moving. So when you be intentional about that, when you're writing your practice plan, think about, okay, I have to plan for 15, right? I may only have 7 that show up, but I have to plan for the max number I have. How can I keep everybody moving throughout practice where there's no lines?
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the key is you don't want long lines and you don't want
No.
anybody that's taught, like, I literally, one of my assistants was running a different meeting and showed up the last 10 minutes. And I go, man, like, I'm old. This is like middle school. This is hard. These were 7th and 8th graders
Hard.
too. Hard. If you're not
You have
prepared
42 of them. I mean, that
with me,
yeah, that
like
is a lot. Even that's a lot. Yeah. Good for you.
with one person, like, okay. And luckily I've done that. If that had been me 15 years ago, I probably would have quit coaching. But it was like, okay, here we go. I'm going to do this. And luckily I had 6 baskets because we were in our gym. So I was able to do it. And then I'll tell coach, I didn't even tell, I grabbed a parent and said, I need some help here. You're going to do this. You're going to take the 7th graders there. And here, I'm going to explain it. And then we're going to do this. And, I kind of knew how to direct it because I've done it a long time. But I think that's where the planning comes into play. My nephew is in grad school right now at Columbia and is going to be teaching, is never taught before. And he's going to kind of get thrown in the deep end. He has to teach a high school, like, creative writing class. And I told him, his name is Reese. I said, Reese, man, if you got 50 minutes, you got to have an hour 30 of stuff ready. He goes, what do you mean? I go, from someone that's taught a really long time, you always want more than less. You do not want 15 minutes of idle time at the end and not have anything to do. I said, have more information. And you can always do it the next period, or you can do it the next time you come in. And it's the same with a practice plan.
That's right.
You do not want to end in that last 20 minutes and not, like, be looking like, oh crud, what are we going to do now? Like, you'd rather have 2 hours worth of stuff and then, maybe an hour practice and have 2 hours. You can always you'd rather have more information than not enough, or more drills, or more small-sided games, or more things, I think is the key. Because you want to keep moving. You want to keep it active. You want to keep it fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's funny when I created the practice plans on Coaching Youth Hoops, I was thinking there's like for about every 60-minute practice, there's probably about 90 minutes of instruction. Extra drills, like, oh shoot, that drill didn't work or didn't resonate, or maybe I didn't explain it the right way. Okay, next drill. I think if you just keep the practice, you have a structure, you keep the practice moving, you have a plan in your head. What do I want to achieve today? What's the most important thing that my team needs today? Right. And you're not, if you're wandering and aimless and there's no continuity, that's what will happen with the kids too.
Well, and the funny thing is, going back to this, because this is fresh on my mind, is I would explain something and they would literally take me literally and was like, no, 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 I meant this. My fault, my fault.
Right.
Like it was
Right.
3 lines.
Yeah.
Well, so you have to be
That's right.
overly specific, especially with youth.
Mm-hmm.
Like my varsity high school guys kind of know how I think and how I want things done. So I don't worry
Mm-hmm.
about that too much. But like, on the bottom, on the end of the thing, it's like it says Madison Memorial. Well, I said, go to the first M, go to the, like stand one, like I literally had to be, and it's like, I don't teach, I teach 12th graders or some 11th graders. I don't teach, 12-year-olds,
Yeah.
11th-year-old. So it's like, all right, and I've done it long enough and run enough camps and done that things that it's like fine, but it's like, ooh. And I said, oh, 100% my fault. I did not explain that. Let's time out. Let me do that over again. Blah, 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 blah. Here's where you got to go. So that's where I think having that structured practice plan helps because it's something to lean on. It's something to like, I still have structured practice or lesson plans for for a teacher of 37 years. I'm not going in blind. Like that's not good
Yeah.
for anybody.
I
But I
think
think
that
that's where,
probably
yeah.
I was going to say, I think probably my worst practices were where I didn't have a plan, right? The kids were,
Right, right.
the other thing the other thing that I do that seems to work in at a global level, boys and girls are different, and coaching girls versus boys, you have to start practice differently, in my opinion. At least that's what I found. Boys, I just get running right away. Hello, okay, hit, do X, whatever drill it might be, and they're running, get off some of that energy. With a lot of my female players, if I started practice that way, it didn't work. We come together, we have about a 2-minute conversation with a 5-minute stationary ball handling in a circle where they're talking to one another. And then we hit it hard. And that seems to get them more focused or have better focus. I mean, again, I still have issues with focus, that I'm working through, trying to talk less during practice, use less instruction, break break the drills down and plays down into small pieces. So I'm not spending time talking about the global big picture. It's just like do X, and that's all they have to do is do X, and then do Y, and then do Z, and then we put it all together, and then boom, there's your play, and they're like, oh, great, So there's just more movement, less talking. Uh, that's what I found worked as well.
Yeah, and I see that from our girls coach too. I think that's a little bit of a nuance that he's learned, and I would agree with it. I don't think it's yeah, I would think that's common occurrence. And to be honest with you, there's times where my guys need that too. They need to turn off a little bit before, leave school behind. So we do some meditation stuff beforehand. They almost need quiet and alone more than the chatty thing.
Interesting.
They kind of shift.
Yeah.
So we'll get in the center circle and I'll close their eyes for 2 minutes and they'll meditate and coach will do some breathing stuff and then we go. It's like they almost got to turn off being in school is stressful.
Yeah.
And I
right.
tell parent, like, I remember this discussion with like, if your kids are good in school and not good at home, you're okay. Because they keep it together. You're safe at home. Home is safe. They can be
Right.
jerks to the parents. But if they're good at school, it's when they're bad at school. Now you got some like some issues. But it's like they got to be able to shift from school or whatever they are to all right, now we're at practice. Now we can kind of refocus. All right. Anything in closing, coach?
Yeah, so I think it comes down to this: keep players moving, talk less, have them move more.
Yes.
More mix of instruction and play with an emphasis on more play.
Right.
Right. They're there to play basketball, and limit your lines as best as you can.
Right. I
Don't
agree.
have other players just watching somebody, have a ball in their hand, especially if you have a short practice. Keep everybody moving and you should have less issues.
You should. I agree. All right. That's awesome, coach. And where can they find the practice plans again?
Yeah, just go to coachingyouthhoops.com. You'll see options there, drop down menus for age specific. Yeah, go check them out. They're all done for you. You don't have to worry about all the stuff that we just talked about. They're there and you're ready to go, age appropriate drills.
Time is the most precious thing. I was talking to Coach about that. Yeah. Time is the most precious thing you have. Let us
buy back your time and go to coachingyouthhoops.com and download practice plans.
All right. Till next week, Coach.
Till next week.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Stop by Sherwin-Williams and get 30% off select paints and stains May 2nd through the 12th. It's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Refresh your home inside and out with colors that make every space feel brand new. From cozy interiors to stunning exteriors, we've got the perfect shade for your next project. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.